try to keep the quarterback contained. It's a great challenge for us because we're going to face, certainly in the first few games, quarterbacks similar with athletic ability and able to make those kind of plays. So it's good for us. Going back to, give me the two names again, Adam, that you said. You asked me about two.
Willie Gay and L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah, both guys working hard. I'm hopeful for both of them. Willie, both those guys, Willie especially, love football. That was one of the things that Matt House had identified with coaches and people that had worked with Willie. I think the more guys you can get like that, the better. Certainly defensive football anywhere on the football team. And LJ plays a position that takes a lot of challenge. I mean, look, he's out there battling. It doesn't always go great. I think mentally both those guys are doing a really good job of keeping their heads in the playbook, and I think they pick things up and have some what I call football get it. So I think that helps us going forward.
Go to Mick Schaefer. Go ahead, Mick.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned Speaks. We're going to talk to Tanoh today as well. You got Taco in the mix and a number of other defensive ends that have seen the field in the NFL. What's that competition like, especially at the one spot? And how's it all going to shake out, you think?
Yeah, we got a ways to go to figure that out, but it's nice to have that many options. I mean, Andy says it all the time, and I just repeat it. Anytime you can get a lot of competition at one spot, that's good for us. You get to pick the best players. We'll see how it all shakes out. TK was key for us last year. We didn't have Breland, but he's back. Taco's new. A couple of those other guys. I mean, we've had Alex and we've had Frank. So we'll just keep them all in the mix. It's nice to have those numbers. And Brendan, there's a lot of good work with him. So hopefully we can surface and find out how many, whatever that's going to be, that we're going to keep healthy.
Let's go to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Coach. I want to follow up on two of the guys that Sam mentioned earlier with Breland Speaks and Chadwick Thompson. For Breland Speaks, because this is year 2 for him into the system, is there something that you may have noticed either early so far in camp or even in the offseason program that you knew going into year 2 he's much more prepared to have success, obviously having learned the system previously? And then with Chadwick Thompson, what did you guys see on film that gave you optimism that he could help you out early if necessary?
Yeah, I mean, one thing about Tedrick is he's played in the league. He worked with a guy that worked for me, Andre Curtis, who I get a lot of respect for. And Andre's a good football coach, so I know that Tedrick's been coached up real well. And so I think that helps him, with the certainly early here, learning the system. But it's going to be a learning curve. I mean, there's a lot for the safeties to know back there. There's a lot of communication. Breland, the one thing, he was hurt last year, and I would hesitate to say that he's really had 2 years in the system because, we got him into training camp, I believe, and then he got hurt. So he had that background. But it's really been a whole year, and you've got to be out there doing it. It's one thing to learn it in a meeting room, on tape, listening to the coaches. It's another thing to go out and do it. So he's a little bit rusty, but he's not going to rust off. And again, like I said before, we're hopeful for all those things.
From Matt and Derek. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you again.
You too.
I know we talked about last year that the new system took a little bit, maybe more time to figure out the rotations than we thought it might last year. But when you did, I mean, you got in a groove at the end of the season. How do you take that into the season and try and carry it over this year while adding new elements and expanding what you're doing?
Good question. Listen, as a staff, we say it all the time. What we're going through with mask and WebEx meetings and, the challenges of what we're dealing with right now, we're all really glad it's not the first year. It'll be really hard. Second year, the guys that have been here, that are in the same spots, that's been a tremendous advantage for us. But I will say this, Kendall Fuller's not here. Juan hasn't been out there. There are some spots, some pieces that we got to find to put this thing all together. We're light years away. I think I said this before when we talked that just because you finish at a certain point at the end of 1 year does not mean you pick right up from that particular spot. We got to go back to ground zero. It's still about getting better every day. There's nothing in our brains that says that we're not going to go through some growing pains this year, just like we did last year. That happens every year, and especially with no preseason games, not going against another opponent except for our offense for whatever it is, 5 weeks here. It's going to be a challenge. I think it's going to be a challenge for all defenses across the league. And so there's no guarantees here. We'll try to piece it together as best we can. I am glad, though, that it is the second one, not the first.
Looks like we've got two more hands up. Let's go Steve and then Pete. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Great, Steve.
Hey, in talking to Tyron earlier this week, he said that he is grateful to you because you understand exactly what buttons to push. I'm interested in your ability to do that, and has it become more difficult after these guys have reached the success that they have?
That's a really good point. We'll get to find out. I'm glad I'm pushing the right buttons. I'm not sure I always do that. My wife might not say that. But listen, the one thing I've always believed in this league is to have great respect for players. I respect these guys. I haven't been with them for a year. I love them. I mean, I love working with them. It's a joy to go out every day. I like to kind of met and all those guys. And so going forward, the point you made is a really good one. You know, pushing buttons after all that success. That can be a challenge. I think about it all the time. I'm always trying to find a niche or something to put up there that will. And I don't think our heads are not level. I don't think our guys are thinking beyond what they should, but it's natural. We talk about keeping a rock solid foundation, and I've put things up that talk about hammers that can break up that foundation, and we talk about those things. So we hit it. I don't hit it all the time because I think sometimes they get sick of me saying things over and over, but I think we hit it enough, and the assistant coaches do a great job.
Go to Pete Sweeney for the last one. Go ahead, Pete.
So Steve, thanks for some time. I was just wondering, given the fact that you guys are fully healthy, or for the most part fully healthy along the defensive line, piggybacking off the year 2 question, does it afford you and Brendan Daly the ability to maybe get a little bit more exotic with some of these blitz pressures in this year, given that they've had that experience last year?
Yeah, that's a hope. I think, you know, we're going to lose Mike Pennell, I think, early in the season with the suspension. So we've got to figure out the inside part of it. But on the outside, if we can, we can find out what those guys on the outside we can do. We probably could get a little exotic, but the thing I want to be really careful of is jumping into that without getting back to square one, which it is for us. It's all about a foundation. And we don't see a lot of run plays right now. Offenses are, they're an attack team throwing the ball down the field. I get concerned about us stopping the run. We play a team first game of the season. So we'll focus more on that right now. Hopefully get them in those third down situations.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate your time.
Thank you all.
All right, guys, hang tight. I think all of our guys are setting up to my office, so we're going to let them fight it out to see who's stepping up. So hang tight. I think we're going to have Ted slip in and give you guys injuries here real quick before we go.
Sorry, guys and ladies, we missed a step. So, guys who didn't work today were Eric Fisher, coach that told you yesterday, concussion, Antonio Hamilton, Darius Harris, Levert Hill, Chris, Byron Pringle, Rankin, and Thornhill you know about, and Sammy and Deion Yelder. And then, obviously, Ricky Seals-Jones left with a leg injury. So we'll get you guys updated on that one. Sorry about that.
Hey, Ted, can we tilt that camera up just a little bit?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Perfect. Here we got Tanoh coming up. We might have to.
I think I'm bringing Chad in first.
Chad? Okay. All right. So Chad Henne up next, guys, if you want to get your hands up. Hey, Chad, can you hear us okay?
All good.
All right, well, we're ready to get started. We'll start with Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Chad, how you doing today?
Good. How you doing, Adam?
Good, thanks. Wanted to ask you a couple things. First, you see many parallels between now and 2011, the year of the lockout, and trying to prepare for a season. And also, you're not going to have any preseason games to get ready for season. I know as backup quarterback, you sometimes feel those preseason game reps are really important to get used to the game speed. Just wanted to ask you what it's going to be like maybe trying to get ready for a season without having that to help you prepare.
Yeah, I mean, the first question with the parallels to 2011, I mean, definitely similar, but different with, instance of not getting to go to the gyms, kind of being on your own at home with everything being closed. But, with guys getting together, outside a little bit, it was beneficial. But this year was just shut down. So we really had to just jump on our feet this year, get after the guys once we got here. We had that acclimation period, 2 weeks that we got out there. Went to a couple high schools and got some good work in there. But other than that, it's been difficult, but we made the best of it and done well. And then with preseason games, yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be difficult. But at the same time, Coach Reed puts a great schedule for us together, gets in all the reps that we can, and really gets us ready and, going for the season.
Let's go to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Chad, good to see you. I have two questions for you. With the understanding of you're going into year 3 in the offense, understanding what Andy is trying to do in terms of adding new things, are there things that you've identified that you want to work on specifically or improve to get ready if needed when the season does start? And then secondly, having a young guy like Jordan Ta'amu enter the quarterback room, what have you noticed from him, both in the classroom and the things he can do maybe in the practice field?
Yeah, I mean, I think just going in for me to improve. I mean, obviously year 3, it's definitely beneficial to be in the same system for 3 years in a row. I feel confident in myself, confident to go out there and perform. But at the same time, it's just getting to know the guys again, getting timing down, spatial awareness out there on the field, understanding the route concepts, really digging deep what specific routes that we're trying to accomplish against each defense and attacking it that way. And, feeding off of Patrick as well. I mean, he's obviously been in it. He's played a lot of games in it, and kind of getting his nuances, where to put his eyes in different places to get certain routes open. And with Jordan, I mean, he's been phenomenal. I mean, he's a young, talented guy. Obviously, he was in the XFL, had some experience there, but he came in, he's willing to learn. He's done some really good things. Today was a great opportunity for him to go out there against doing the scout team for the defense, and did a really nice job for him. So he's going to keep learning, pick our brains, each and every day. But I think he definitely has a great upside.
Go to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Chad. Good to see you. I had 2 questions for you. One is there anything specific that you noticed different with Patrick this year as opposed to last year? I know we're early in this. And the other thing I was wondering, I know everybody's being as careful as they can be, right? But there's been talk of quarterbacks kind of, quarantining. I'm just worried if you personally, just as a quarterback, and you feel like you're taking even more responsibility, more extremes to sort of stay safe.
Yeah, I mean, for Patrick, I mean, it's going out there and being the best leader he can be. I think he's improved on that tremendously, even from the day one since I've been here. Really getting hold of the guys, preaching to them what this offense is all about, what he wants from them, what they need from him. And, I mean, he's the ultimate teammate. We heard it previously, he's a competitor each and every day. He's out there trying to beat our defense left and right. And, it's just his mindset. Each and every day he's out there to win and be the best leader for this team and win for this organization. So he's definitely improved on that year in and year out and has done a phenomenal job there. And your second question then?
Yeah, just if as a quarterback, if you feel like you're taking even more extremes. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, I'm aware of what my family's doing. They're actually coming out today. So making sure I know exactly where they're at each and every day. They're taking care of themselves with wearing a mask outside, being safe, knowing who you're around, and then especially myself, just going to be a homer. I mean, this is important. This is my job. I don't want to lose my job to just, being out in a couple weeks just because of getting coronavirus.
All right, looks like we got 2 more. Let's go Robert and then Adam. Go ahead, Robert.
Hey, Chad. Just wanted your thoughts on. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, just wanted to get your thoughts on what went into your decision to kind of play this season, with the COVID thing and everything, and what kind of what was your thought process when you decided to play this year?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't take long. I mean, I made a commitment back in March when I signed here, and even though this pandemic has hit us hard, I just felt I made the decision. I'm here for my teammates. I'm here to do my best ability as I can for this team, and I'm here. There's no doubt about it. I never look back. My family was fine with it, and we're young and healthy, and we're just going to go forward from here.
Let's go to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Chad, one last thing. You, as you mentioned earlier, you started the offseason as a free agent, but re-signed. And you certainly weren't the only guy who re-signed on this team this year. It seems like guys really like to play here. Are there some things you can put your finger on as to why guys, what is it about this place where guys like to play, other than you're just getting a chance to play for another ring?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, number one is Coach Reed. I mean, he's definitely one of the best coaches I've been around. He knows the ins and outs of offense. He knows the ins and outs of defense. I mean, he's been around for a while. He's a winning coach. And, guys want to be around winning atmospheres. And obviously, the Super Bowl helps. But at the same time, when you're around the guys that want to compete each and every day and fight for one another, I think it just is definitely something you want to be a part of. I've throughout my career, ups and downs, winning, losing, the winning's the way to go. And here we have a great tradition here and a lot of great people around us.
Chad, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, hang tight. We got, I believe, Tanoh coming up next. All right, guys, walking in now. Hey, Tanoh, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. Yeah, yep, absolutely. Let's start with Mick Schaefer. Go ahead, Mick.
Hey, Tanoh, I'm just wondering how important last year was for you, getting on the field that much more, starting those games, getting those sacks, a couple in the playoffs as well. And what's the next step? What are you looking to do here in 2020?
Well, I'm always looking to grow, and especially making those key sacks or those key plays, and then being able to play in the Super Bowl, being able to win the Super Bowl, just like boost my confidence, boost our whole team confidence, knowing like we know what we are and we know exactly what we need to do to do it again.
Let's go to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
What's up, Tanoh?
What's up, Nick?
Hey, man. I wanted to ask you two questions. The first for you is getting that experience, particularly in the playoffs last year, I know helped you a ton. Just going into year two, knowing that you're sort of solidified in your position, just what does it mean to have continuity of knowing what you're doing, the sort of position you're at, and being with the same amount of guys, just what that does for your confidence? And then secondly, I remember asking you last training camp about your relationship with Breland Speaks and the fact that you guys both sort of switched positions back together in Steve Spagnuolo's system, going back to DN. Just what's it been like to see his progress these last few weeks as you guys get ready for the season?
I mean, yeah, year two in this defense, you get a lot more comfortable. You get a lot more comfortable with what the guys around you are doing. You get the whole scheme. You know why Coach Staggs is calling something in a certain situation. And I think just that continuity that you said.
Yep.
That
Yep.
whatever, yeah,
Yep.
that's there. That synergy, that energy that we all come together as one is there. And I mean, Breland, he's coming along for sure. Like he's been in his playbook. He's been studying. He knows our defense pretty well, and he hopped right in like it was nothing.
All right, let's go to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Tanoh, was curious, this past offseason, it allows you and everybody a chance to self-scout. I was wondering where you kind of gauge yourself when it comes to rushing the passer and what you look forward to in this year.
Well, I've had a whole nother offseason to work on that and really just perfect my craft. It was a weird offseason, but I made it work. I got a lot of time to myself to just kind of do what you said, self-scout, and be able to tweak those little things. I'm excited to see what happens.
Let's go to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Tanoh. Spags mentioned something to us earlier today about the fact that Patrick Mahomes scrambling kind of helps you prepare for facing guys like Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson that you're going to be facing the first 3 weeks. I'm wondering your perspective on that.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of help. I mean, that guy can run. That guy will bounce out the pocket. He'll go 10 yards back down the field and, throw some crazy sidearm ball. Those plays that you expect from those top-tier quarterbacks. And I really feel like that helps us as a defense as a whole prepare, our backfield sticking on guys longer, us continuing to rush relentlessly and just track them down.
Looks like we've got two more. Let's go Matt, Derek, and then Sarin. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Tanoh, good to see you again.
Yeah, good night.
This is the first time in your career going into a season not having a contract for next year and knowing what your situation will be. Is there a sense of urgency this year that you're playing to try and impress the Chiefs? Maybe you're trying to impress other teams to get that contract.
I've always been playing to impress everybody. I play for myself. I play for my mom. I play for everybody back home. I work hard every day, and I kind of let the other stuff kind of work itself out.
Let's go to Sarin for the last one. Go ahead, Sarin.
Tanoh, you can kind of go back in time and when you were playing linebacker in this defense and just kind of take me through what went through your mind when they came to you and said, hey, we want you to stand up, we want you to do drops. And then is there anything now that you're back in what, seemingly the position you were drafted for and what you kind of just, not to stereotype you, right, but you look like a defensive lineman, right, with your size and everything. But is there anything you still are able to take away from that time that you did spend working as a linebacker?
Oh, yeah, I'm able to take a bunch back because, we're still dropping. We're still doing stuff that outside linebackers did, and I'm standing up sometimes. It honestly gave me just more of a, plethora and variety of moves, stances, so guys don't really know what I'm going to be doing. And just playing at that outside linebacker position, I learned defense as a whole. So my defensive knowledge definitely has been growing and still is.
Tanoh, we appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, guys, hang tight, and we're going to get you Willie Gay next. It might be a couple minutes here, so hang tight. Still on hold for a couple more minutes here, guys. Willie went up to get a quick shower in, and he's on his way back now. So shouldn't be too long.